What if I told you these colourful abstract images weren't created with an expensive camera? In fact, all I used was my phone, a clip-on macro lens, and a few pieces of foil ribbon. No studio, no complicated equipment, just a little movement, and a little imagination, and a lot of colourful chaos. And yes, before anyone asks, I did spend an alarming amount of time arranging bits of ribbon. If you've seen my previous ribbon photography video, you'll already know I'm slightly obsessed with photographing bits of fabric, which sounds a bit odd when you say it out loud, but stick with me. This time I wanted to see whether the same technique could work using nothing more than a smartphone and the Apexel clip-on macro lens. Apexel kindly sent me this lens to try out, but all opinions are my own, and as always, if something doesn't work out, I'll tell you. Voile ribbon is perfect for this because it's translucent, colourful, and catches the light beautifully. Even before taking a photograph, it's surprisingly relaxing just watching its swirls unravel as you get it into position. It's also one of the few photography subjects that can be stored in a sewing box and doesn't try to run away halfway through a focus stack. The process is wonderfully simple. A few sheets of coloured card or some plain coloured t-shirts or other fabric to lay your ribbon on. You might need a slow shutter app for your phone if it doesn't already have that option. Set it to between a quarter and 1 second and just start experimenting. Move in close with the macro lens and adjust its zoom if required. Find an interesting area of colour, texture, lines, or a composition that looks nice. Then just introduce a little camera movement during the exposure. Try different movements, shaking gently or more rigorously, sweeping lines sideways, up or down, or in curves, or turn your phone in a partial circle. You can also get interesting results moving towards your subject or backing away. The trick isn't precision. In fact, the less you try to control everything, the more interesting the results often become. One thing I love about this technique is that it rewards experimentation. Some images work beautifully, and others look as though a rainbow has exploded in your phone. Both outcomes are perfectly acceptable. Actually, some of my favourites were the ones that I couldn't possibly have planned. What makes this particularly appealing is just how accessible it is. Most of us already carry a camera in our pockets. Add an inexpensive macro lens and suddenly ordinary materials become a source of endless abstract photography. You don't need rare wildlife, you don't need exotic locations, and you don't even need to leave home. You may, however, need to explain to family members why you're enthusiastically spending hours photographing ribbons. Every image here started as a simple piece of voile ribbon, yet each one feels completely different. Some remind me of flowers, others of underwater worlds. A few look like something escaped from a science fiction film. Photography doesn't always have to be complicated. Sometimes the most enjoyable projects come from ordinary materials, a little curiosity, and a willingness to experiment. So if you have a phone, a macro lens, and perhaps a forgotten box of ribbons somewhere in the house, why not give it a try? Just don't blame me if you suddenly find yourself collecting ribbon in every colour imaginable.